Senegar, a spokesman for WomenForOne.com, said, "A vibrant, independent young woman is much more beautiful than a woman who waits for someone to validate her existence. If we can all just accept that there is no normal, we can love ourselves for what we truly are." Through a collection of poems entitled How to Love Your Body and 10 Easy Steps by Ollie Renee Schmicky, Shrinking Woman by Lily Myers, and Something by Dennis Esfonsico, we can learn the true meaning of acceptance. How to love your body in 10 easy steps. 1. Stop eating. You may not feel you are fat, but eating less makes you feel like you have control. 2. Pretend that you believe in God. It will give you a reason for why you have no control. 3. Welcome the anxiety as a friend. Take it with you to every social function. Hold it close to you while you sleep. This anxiety is the only guarantee that you will feel anything. 4. Read the comments under pro-transgender articles. Read every person that calls you a mistake and invite them into your home. Construct an altar each time they call you a freak, unnatural, unlovable. The Catholic Church reserves a special spot for you in hell. Take this as a compliment. Believe these insults as if they were prayers. 5. Bind your chest. Bind unsafely, bind for too long. This binding is the only guarantee that you will feel anything. Run. Even though your lungs can't fully expand due to the constriction, it will hurt when you breathe. You can puncture a lung from the pressure, but be grateful. A lung full of blood's a quicker death than most people would wish for you. 6. Change your name to it. We all know the logical progression. He, she, it, man, woman, whatever. You are the whatever. The most general thing to hate. This is the closest thing that they will ever give you to a name or legal recognition of your gender. 7. Blame your body for this. Blame your breasts, blame your cheekbones. Do not call it what it is. Do not call it transgender. Do not say dysphoria. No qualifier, just say self-hate. Call it, I just need a alone day. Take an alone day every day. 8. Pretend you do not still love her. The woman inside your chest, the one who pains your lungs when you breathe. Pretend that it's her fault. Pretend she's a prescription written for someone else. A bottle of Vicodin that you would only become addicted to. 9. Stay calm. Smile when people spit in your face. Say thank you each time they misgender you. Blame yourself for not being a more convenient sin. 10. Clean this hate proudly. It is the way the world has taught you to love yourself. It is the only way you know how. To free us from the expectations of others. To give us back to ourselves. There lies the great singular power of self-respect. Across from me at the kitchen table, my mother smiles over red wine that she drinks out of a measuring glass. She says she doesn't deprive herself, but I've learned to find nuance in every movement of her fork, in every crinkle in her brow as she offers me the uneaten pieces on her plate. I've realized she only eats dinner when I suggest it. I wonder what she does when I'm not there to do so. Maybe this is why my house feels bigger each time I return. It's proportional. As she shrinks, the space around her becomes increasingly vast. She wanes while my father waxes. His stomach has grown round with wine, late nights, oysters, poetry. A new girlfriend who was overweight as a teenager. My dad now proudly reports that she's crazy about fruit. It was the same with his parents. As my grandmother became frail and angular, her husband swelled to round cheeks, round stomach. I wonder if my lineage is one of women shrinking. Making space for the entrance of men into their lives, not knowing how to fill it back up once they leave. I have been taught accommodation. My brother never thinks before he speaks. I've been taught to filter. How can anyone have a relationship to food, he asks, laughing as I eat the black bean soup I chose with lack of carbs, of course. I want to say, we come from difference, Jonas. You've been taught to grow out, I've been taught to grow in. You learn from our father how to omit, how to produce, how to roll each thought off your tongue with confidence. I learned to absorb. I took lessons from our mother in creating space around myself. I learned to read the knots in her forehead as the guys went out for oysters. I never meant to replicate her. But if you spend enough time sitting across from someone, you tend to pick up their habits. That's why women in my family have been shrinking for decades. We all learned it from each other, the way each generation taught the next how to knit, weaving silence in between the threads, which I can still feel, walking through this ever-growing house, skin itching, picking up all the habits that my mother has unwittingly dropped, like bits of crumpled paper from her pocket, on countless trips from bedroom to kitchen to bedroom again. Nights, I hear her creep down to eat plain yogurt in the dark, a fugitive stealing calories to which she does not feel entitled to, deciding how many bites is too many, how much space she deserves to occupy. Watching the struggle, I either mimic or hate her. I don't want to do either anymore, but the burden of this house has followed me across the country. I asked 5 questions in the next class today, and all of them started with the word sorry. I don't even know the requirements for the sociology major because I spent the entire meeting deciding whether or not I had another slice of pizza. A circular obsession I never wanted. But inheritance is accidental. Still staring at me with wine-stained lips from across the kitchen table. It is not love of self, but hatred of self, which is at the root of troubles that afflict our world. In my family, there is always a kitchen. In the kitchen, there is always a woman. In that woman, there is always fear. Fear that this time, the recipe won't work, that the man will leave his meal unfinished, that the man's stomach will find pleasure in someone else's home, and that it will be the woman's fault. Too much sugar, or not enough, I guess. In my family, good cooking values like a centerpiece, keeps the men close, brings them home every night. Grandmother believed a good meal said, "I love you," better than a kiss. Grandmother believed a good meal said, "I'm sorry," better than an apology. Like my grandmother, my mother serves an excess. Says you can never, never love too much. But one night, Daddy didn't come home for dinner. His plate was left cold on the kitchen table. He woke Mommy up at 4 in the morning, dragged her by her hair into the kitchen after his night out drinking, and demanded that she cook him his favorite meal. She said, "Child's Ranellos, I'm sorry, a side of rice, I love you. Another beer from the fridge, I'm sorry, I love you." Breakfast next morning was the last time she ever apologized for him. Her cooking is best, but men in my mother's life have never stayed for seconds. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. No, there's no proverb about the way the woman's heart is there. No, the way into her is more important. 2 daughters later, and years after the divorce, my mother still cooks there's a man in the house. She glances at the empty chair on our table and asks more than once if I'm sure dinner tastes good tonight. I guess apologies can't taste all I love sometimes. I personally don't know how to cook. The man I love cooks for me. He knows the way to my heart isn't food or roses, but the kind of honest love that fills. And I may not know how to cook yet, but Mommy still showed me how to love myself. Too much. Always. Even if he doesn't stay.